He said, well, you know, the Next Generation is doing so well. We're going to make Next Generation movies, and the old cast is we're not going to do any more movies. So we're going to kill Kirk. Do you want to be in the movie? Just about what happened. I said, well, yes. So I called Leonard and I said, you know, they're killing Kirk. He said, I know. They asked me if I wanted to be in the movie, and I said no. I said, he said, why did you say no? He said, oh, I don't want to participate in that. I said, well, I'm gonna participate in it. So they wrote the script, and there's the whole story of the killing of Captain Kirk. The moment Captain Kirk died, the moment the scene was over, I rushed over to the producer, what's his name, and what was his name? The guy who produced The Next Generation.
Rick Berman, Ronald D. Moore.
Rick Berman.
Yeah.
Thanks. I can always rely on I rushed over to Rick Berman and said, Rick, I have a story outline that brings Captain Kirk back to life. And he said, well, I don't know, you know, I don't think so. So, they killed the character. Looking back, I might have done something else different. I might have followed Leonard, I don't know. In any case, they killed the character off so that the Next Generation movies would be would stand on its own, and there wouldn't be any history behind it. But I had this wonderful story of how Captain Kirk comes back to life and why Spock brings him back to life. And that was the beginning of a series of books that they let me write. They let me use the character in my way. And so I had a series of adventure stories that Captain Kirk did, that I wrote with another couple, and they were fun to write and to imagine what we would have done in movies if the original Star Trek were allowed to continue. One of the obvious problems was we were all getting older, and they wanted more, I guess. But I thought, what an interesting way to go, that every so often come up with a movie as the characters age, as the actors age. You age the characters that way, and you know, I've gotten old. I don't know when that happened. Somebody said they fell asleep, and then when they woke up, they were old. That's the way I feel. What happened here? So as you get older, you have the ambitions and the impulse and the desires and the drive you had when you were young. He just doesn't work quite as well. I can't run quite as fast and all the itinerant things. But what an interesting, it seemed to me, story to tell. This Captain Kirk, this great hero, feels, I've got a dog who's 10 years old, great, marvelous Doberman stud dog. And he's going to die soon because Dobermans don't live much longer than 9, 10 years old. And I look at I grab him by his ears and I say, what are you thinking? What are you doing? Tell me what you want. And, you know, he looks at me and he's ready to tell me, but he can't speak. But he does speak in dog language and Doberman language. He bites me. But I see this dog that used to run and charge, and he's 100 pounds, and he was territorial. Now he knows that his strength is ebbing, and he's not quite like that. And it moves me terribly to see him begin to think, maybe I can't beat that dog, or I can't guard. Maybe I better be careful here. And that's what happens when you get older. I thought, what interesting stories that would have been as this hero who could take apart Gorns be unable to do that as well and have to use wisdom and sagacity. You know? I thought those would be interesting stories, and that's the kind of thing I wrote about. He falls in love again with somebody younger, and it's not quite as... Anyway, that's the stories I wrote. That's why I wrote all those stories, because I thought they were interesting. Next question. How am I doing for time here, folks? Oh, we're good.
Mr. Shatner.
Please.
In Turnabout Intruder.
Turnabout Intruder. Which one was that?
That was the last episode in season 3 of the original series. You had to play a woman because your bodies were switched, or your minds were switched.
I was a woman?
Right. Your an old acquaintance of yours wanted to take over the Enterprise. She wanted to be the captain because she was not allowed to since she was a woman.
Right.
And I wanted to ask, what was it like to play that character, and how did you prepare for it? And by the way, I thought it was really good. You did a really good job with it.
By the way, what? I missed the last part.
I said that you did a good job. You really did a good job as playing a crazy female. I thought it was
Well, I don't remember. It's been so long. You know, there are essences of everything. There are essences of everything. I was coming here on the airplane. I was talking about golf. I bet you're all thinking, where the hell is he going to go? Now, I don't play golf. What I do is I ride horses. I'm totally involved in horses. Their breeding, their care, and competition. I compete all the time in horses. I'm doing quite well. And I was likening the essence of golf, which I've hardly ever played. But there's a feeling. And I was saying, I'll bet you, when you strike the ball, and the ball goes where you want it to go, where you imagined it to go. Well, and the next link was, I used to be an archer. I haven't played around with a bow and arrow in a long time, but I used to be an archer. And in fact, I was competitive, but I went hunting a lot with a bow and arrow. And if you do free archers, and you're there without a sight, like this in a bow and arrow, and there, by the way, is a book called Zen and the Art of Archery, which links the bow where unites heaven and earth, and the arrow unites you and the target. That the arrow falls quite quickly, so you have to adjust for gravity by raising the bow. And you have to imagine the arc of the arrow as it goes. When you are able to shoot 75 yards, say, and you're up like this, and the arrow arcs exactly as you imagine and hits the bullseye, which on occasion I was able to do, or when that ball, I would have imagined, goes like this and flies into the sky exactly the way you imagined it. Or when you ride a horse and you and the horse are one, and all your signals are in your hands and in your legs, and suddenly everything is unified. You can grasp the essence of everything. And it seemed to me that there was an essence of a woman, and I tried. I know I'm on shaky ground here, but follow me through. That's called improvisational speech, and you don't know quite where you're going. There is an essence of people, of anyone. You can grasp their essence. I have a friend of mine who is able to imitate people by just sort of suggesting what that person, how